Hello, Leo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of July 26th through August 1st. And during that time, we have a waxing gibbous moon to get us started. And that is a time for us to show that we can be flexible and make adjustments on those things that we've just started during the new moon. So keep that in mind. We then move into the full moon energy. The full moon's on the 30th, but you might feel the energy a day before and sometimes a day after. And of course, that is heightened emotions. You might feel overwhelmed and anxious, maybe a little bit irritable. You may have some changes in your sleeping pattern. And then the opposite is that you may just feel full of energy. So that's what I do. I'm not really irritable. I just have really good energy. It's just a lot of it. So it's a good time for us to practice patience and calm if we do need to do that, and to kind of just manage those feelings and those anxieties that are coming about if we have those. So we then, after that, move into the waning gibbous energy. And of course, that is a calmer energy, a good time of self reflection, and a good time for us to get rid of our bad habits and negative thinking. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't here on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading, Leo, is don't let your past hold you back. All right, let's see what the Leo Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to get yourself out into nature. So, here we are in the full swing of summer, get out in a pool and just catch some rays, maybe, get out and swim, enjoy some water outside, which is always fun. Get in a lake somewhere, get in the ocean if you're near it. The other thing is maybe just take a nice walk somewhere, a good hike. If it's sunny, if it's a nice wooded area, we've got a place on our property, actually, a wooded path that goes through a little wooded area that we have. And it's really nice to get out, especially if it's hot, you're kind of in the shade out there. Or get out at night, get out and stargaze, watch that full moon as it comes about. But whatever you do, just get out into nature and definitely, just try to close your eyes maybe and just connect to nature and really enjoy it this week. And that is my fun weekly reminder for you. All right, let's get into this reading. Leo, July 26th through August 1st. Don't let your past hold you back. Your present energy right now is the 10 of Wands. So it looks like something that you're wrapping up. So something that's coming to a close for you. This could be anything from just some project you've been working on. It could be an inner project that you've been working on that you feel like you've had some success with and you're just done. You're pushing through, trying to get to that very ending of it, but pushing through to end on something, and that's always good. Of course, any tens that are endings lead to beginnings and new things, just opens up space for other things to come through in your life. Your current situation right now is the 9 of Swords. So with this ending is a little bit of anxiety that's coming along with it. So whatever that might be, again, we've got that full moon energy, and that could be that, but maybe it's some anxiety about this ending, about pushing through, because again, it does open up space for something else, and maybe you're a little concerned about what is next. So don't let your past hold you back, and don't be, take a big deep breath and try to get through it, because the future is different. It always is. At the root of your situation is the King of Swords. So at the root is you being logical. It looks like you're taking the logical next steps, the logical ending steps towards something. And you're a little anxious about it, of course, but you're being very logical. And that's a good way to go about things. Just you're doing things. It seems like this is the thing to do. So go ahead and take part and do it. In your recent past here is the King of Pentacles. So you've been kind of on top of it financially, and this might be a financial change that you're about to make or something that affects your finances, but you've been kind of on top of it and knowledgeable about it. So again, don't let your past hold you back, but and really rely on your past, your knowledge, the things that you've built up when it comes to knowledge about finances and money and material things, and also your feelings and knowledge here about your just your intellect and your ability to be very logical about things. So, don't let those hold you back. Let them guide you forward. Rely on those things that you already feel like you've accomplished and that you know already. What's on your mind this week? 8 of Wands coming in. So things are coming in very quickly. whatever it is. This could just be information coming in at you, and you're just trying to kind of settle it, everything. And that could be why you're a little anxious too. Sometimes when just things are changing quick, of course it keeps us all on our toes, and it's hard to sleep because you're trying to sort this thought out and this thing that's coming in, and how am I going to manage that thing, so take a breath and try to get yourself some relaxing sleep through this too. Try to find a way to relax. Again, that walk in nature might dispel some of that energy. Just being outside, kind of being grounded, is a way to not really go through all of that anxiety. What is just ahead of you this week is the Six of Cups. So something ahead of you that is making you kind of feel nostalgic for, the way things have been, something in your past. It may be that you're kind of looking back on and saying that, well, this is the way I've done things always, right? That's something that might hold you back, because if you're thinking about how you used to be, you need to let yourself evolve and let yourself change, because if there's something in your past that might kind of hold you back or keep you down, that's the thing you're probably trying to work through. So makes total sense that this card is there, but make sure you're working through those things. In your advice position is the Moon card, which is telling me instantly follow your intuition. You have an intuitive something coming up. You feel like it's the way you should go, and yeah, maybe there's something in your past that's making you a little bit fearful about it. But it's almost like the universe is saying you need to go for it. This is intuitive, and you just need to trust. You need to. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Fool card come out in the rest of your reading or next week even. But it's almost like a new journey, and it's kind of, you're going by your gut feeling, and it's exciting, but it's also a little nerve wracking as well. What is beyond your control this week is a little bit of creative collaboration there with that Three of Pentacles. So this may be something that you're working on with other people, but you are coming together to collaborate a little bit, in the creative, in a creative way, but to maybe deal with the situation, manage this. It could be so beyond your control. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Well, it's your inner searching, and it's that inner answer that, again, this intuitive thing that comes out. Are you trying to avoid um listening to that hermit, listening to that inner voice that knows, all these things that you've learned? Or is it your secret desire to listen to this voice? So ask yourself that question. There's no right or wrong, of course, but the hermit is knows the answer, or seeking that answer to light, his very next step, and you have an idea about some intuitive next step. So I'm going to say that maybe rely on that hermit a little bit and think about it. Again, think about it, put it aside, but it's almost like you're coming to that decision point. In your outcome position here is the Tower. So, the outcome is that this is a disruption, and you've got this intuitive way of wanting to do this, but you're wrapping something up, and it is a disruption in your life. And maybe that's what's making you a little bit nervous about it, but I feel like it's the way to go. I don't feel like this is a bad disruption. I feel like this is, don't let your past hold you back. There's something that's, that you're moving towards, that is about change and is about evolution. It's going to be a disruptor. It's going to make things not look the same, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think sometimes when we do those things, we evolve and we move into the next phase of what our life should be. What is hidden from you this week is the Page of Swords. So a new way of communicating that's kind of hidden. We're not there yet. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Fool pop up in your next reading, maybe even the Magician, talking about what you're manifesting or what new path you might be on, because I feel like this is a wrap up. It's a wrap up of an old path, and you just need to go, even if it feels like it's going to be a little disrupting for you. So, all right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Leo as they maybe go into hermit mode to seek out this change, but definitely have things coming in rapidly, and using all this knowledge from the King of Pentacles and King of Swords, all this internal knowledge plus the hermit, that's going to get you to a correct decision, and maybe even that Moon card. All right, final message here from the Soul Oracle deck for you, Leo, says be patient. Be patient. Let this thing come out. And maybe that's the anxiety, is you're waiting on something, or um, again, you're kind of decision making, you're looking for that next step, what you need to do. Be patient, because Rome wasn't built in a day, and lives don't change in a day. So, and even though tarot card readings happen for a week, that doesn't mean that everything gets wrapped up in a week, right? Some situations are ongoing for weeks, days, months, years, depending on the situation. But be patient. Looks like the right thing's going to come about, and you're going to know what step to take. All right, what do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Leo this week, and the card that you get says self-worth and says self-love on this cute little cake that's on there. Why settle for crumbs when you deserve a whole meal? Are you settling for crumbs now? Is this something that you're trying to wrap up? Are you feeling like that? Like, I'm settling for crumbs. I want to move on and do this thing. It's disruptive, but my intuition is telling me to do it. I don't know. Very interesting reading here, Leo. I would be very curious to know if anything here resonated with you and how it resonated with different Leos. So if that's you, drop me a comment down below. Let's compare notes and see what's going on there. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps me. And I thank you so much in advance for doing that. I notice many of you are coming back and seeing the readings every week, and I really do appreciate that. So thanks so much for your time. Good luck, Leo. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.